Nick, Lost River Drive-In, he posted this on Twitter, X, and Rowan Campbell. And I've heard quite a few testimonies about Rowan Campbell, what he was like, given how many freaking people he had in line all day. Everybody said he was just the most down-to-earth, sweetest guys, and gave 110% to the fans. And, you know, he didn't take for granted the position that he was in. Okay. And I knew Rowan Campbell was going to be a big draw that first, you know, this is the first year after Halloween Ends. And, yeah, he seems like just a cool guy. That'd be my number one, celebrity autograph would be Rowan Campbell. If I went to H45, I would go straight to the Rowan Campbell line just to say, hey, thank you for such a great freaking performance, for knocking it out of the park. I loved Corey as a character. And guys, let me say this real quick. I think this is a good moment to say this because I was thinking about this before the stream started. Michael Myers is the GOAT, okay? And the reason I say that is because I think some people that hate Halloween Ends, they think if you like Halloween Ends, then you don't respect Michael Myers. You don't like Michael Myers, you know? I've literally heard people... Matter of fact, wasn't it on one of my streams, there was this dude, I was going back and forth with him, because sometimes I'll do that, you know, have a nice civil debate. And he was like, you can't possibly like Michael Myers and like Halloween Ends. And I was like, Michael Myers is like my number one. He's like my freaking idol, you know? I can't change that. That's in my brain, right? I can't help it. So what I wanted to say was, as much as I love Halloween Ends, does that mean that I'm saying Corey Cunningham is as great of a killer as Michael Myers? Hell no. Hell no. Michael Myers is the freaking king. I was watching Halloween 2 today, and you know, the glide and just the fierce rage, everything about Myers. And Dick Warlock's not a big guy, but my God, he freaking sells it for how dangerous Myers is. He's walking through double glass doors. And I'm just like, that's my guy. That's the legend. That is the greatest freaking slasher killer of all time. I don't care. He's the king. He is the goddamn king. Okay? Nothing will ever take that away. And if you want to tell a story at the end of the king's life and maybe transferring that power to somebody else, you know, as long as you understand where they're going, that's fine. I loved Corey's story. I loved, hey, what would it be like if you transfer the evil from Myers into another character? Would they be Myers? No, they wouldn't actually. I think if Corey would have lived and we would have had like another 3-4 movies of just that killer, Corey would have had his own characteristics, I think. I don't think he would have been exactly like Myers, okay? Chris Snyder, he says, do we think baby Steven from age 6 was born cursed because of the rituals, or was Tommy able to raise him to be good? That's a good question, actually. Damn, that's a really good question. I don't think he was cursed. There was never any kind of like ceremony around him. So I think for that transfer to happen, kind of like in Halloween Ends, well, here's the thing. Did Myers ever touch baby Steven? I don't think he ever laid a hand on baby Steven. And I think that's one of the important things, is there has to be some form of transference, you know? It could even be like just kind of like what happened with the transfer between Corey. Actually, no, he did grab Corey. That's right. He did touch Corey during that transfer. So I do think Myers has to touch someone for the transfer to happen. Would you guys agree with that? So that baby will be almost as evil as Rosie. He could be, but you know what? We don't know. I mean, Steven could. Hell, look at freaking Kara's son. You know, he held the knife up to John. So this is the A24 news, which I did not make a video on, and it's the same report from Bloody Disgusting. They just amended it and they updated it. And so here's the thing. Update: Malika Kod's Trancas International Films is the current rights holder for TV, and Miramax is one of the parties bidding on the property. Miramax co-owns the rights. The headline and article were adjusted to reflect this. Now, where's the A24 part? Yeah. We're hearing exclusively A24 and Miramax are the two main parties currently in battle for the TV rights. And that A24 is currently leading the charge. All right. So what does that tell you guys? You tell me, all right? If A24 is vying for the TV rights and Miramax owns the film rights and Miramax is trying to get the TV rights, what does that tell you guys? What does that mean? Okay? I'm going to see if you guys are paying attention. What does that mean? It means we're getting a TV series. We're definitely getting a TV series, I think. Well, let me amend that. If A24 is able to secure the rights for the TV side of things, then we're definitely getting a TV series. Because A24 can't put out a film. If they get the TV rights, that means, okay, now we've forked over, two freaking bulldozers full of $100 bills. We got to do something with it. So we're definitely getting a TV series. All right. So that's the first thing. Here's the second thing. If we're getting a TV series and A24 wants to make sure that it is successful, are they going to play it safe and do a Myers-centric story? Or are they going to try to... There's three different options here, by the way. Or are they going to try to tell the Silver Shamrock, that's an option. You could go that route. Or the third option is do something that's never been done before and do like a Halloween universe, like a Haddonfield universe. All of this has to take place in Haddonfield, and we can tell different stories, and all these stories have to be linked in to Haddonfield. Okay? Now, I was watching Mike's thing. I watch Mike's videos on his updates, and he always offers some really interesting ideas. One of his ideas from We Watched the Movie, one of his ideas, he was saying that you can't do an anthology. You can't do an anthology, or you shouldn't do an anthology. I'm paraphrasing too. I'm not going to state his words, but he's not really for the anthology because there are, you could just call it any other anthology. I mean, because we already have so many different anthologies out there. Trick or Treat is an anthology. And I half agree with him and I half disagree with him. I think the only way you could get away with an anthology is if every freaking season, preferably every episode, it has to have a thread of Halloween, a thread of Haddonfield, more importantly, in it. Would you guys agree with that? I think if you can do that, if you, like every episode, there's like maybe a character that's mentioned in the franchise. There's an event that might have been mentioned, Russellville, shit like that. There's got to be Phelps Garage, There's got to be a little bit of that Halloween DNA in every episode, so that way okay, this isn't that anthology. This is specifically pertaining to Myers, or not Myers, but just to Haddonfield and the Halloween franchise. Okay, I think that's the way you could get away with it. But Mike is right. If you just did any horror anthology story, what is that going to do? How is that going to separate it from any other anthology? You got to have that freaking DNA, that connective tissue. Because I'm not against an anthology. I don't have to have Myers in everything. He's my number one. I wouldn't be upset if it was Myers-centric. But I guess here's my thing with Myers. I don't like Myers on the small screen, and I know that's never happened before, and I could be proven wrong, but I just feel like Myers has to be in the theater in my mind. When I see Myers, I need to see him for the first time on the big screen. There's just something about Halloween with the sound and the big screen, and more importantly, just like the audience reaction, all that stuff. And that doesn't mean they couldn't make a TV series, and it could be freaking awesome. TV is different these days than it was back, 20, 30 years ago. So, yeah, it could be great, but, I guess like Erica said, he is special. Certain things I think you want on the big screen. And you know what? If I got to kind of compare it to Star Wars, I don't know about you guys, but Star Wars TV hasn't really blown my hair back, okay? It hasn't really knocked my socks off. It's okay. There are those member berry moments that pop up here and there. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Look at that. You got the Leo from, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah, there are those moments, but it's not a full meal experience, at least for me, like it was watching Star Wars on the big screen. They just haven't proven. Even like Mandalorian. Everybody loved Mandalorian. I don't know. When I watched Mandalorian, I just thought, it's okay, but he's kind of just like walking everywhere. And, let's walk a while and then let's have a battle, right? So, that's where I'm at right now. Could I be proven wrong? Yeah, absolutely, I could be proven wrong. And here's another thing too. Once you once you go there, you can't go back. Okay. Or you could go back and put Myers on the big screen, but you're kind of taking out some of the wind of the character if you put him on the small screen, and then when you try to put him back on the big screen, we're like, oh, but we just saw him on the small screen, right? I don't know. And my mind can be changed. I'm open-minded, but this is where I'm at right now with Myers. Myers is extremely special to me, and you just got to be very careful with that character. Very careful, right? So, TV, if you wanted to do TV, I think I would almost prefer them to stay away from Myers. And I guess the main plot, the main story of the TV series should be something outside. And you could mention Myers every now and then, here and there. Maybe even like at the end of the season, maybe show Myers once, or just like maybe in the shadows or something like that, Maybe like you're focusing on a main point of the show, and as the character's walking down the street, you look over to the left behind a tree and you see just a little silhouette of Myers. That's okay. I think that would be really freaking cool, actually. And it maybe opens up doors for things in the future, but just a full-on Myers is the main, thing about the show. You got to win me over on that one. You got to win me over, because right now I'm a little bit nervous about that, because once you go there, it's hard to go back to, because who's going to want to go see Myers on the big screen after he's already been on TV for freaking 10 episodes, right? Part of the charm of not only Michael, but Freddy and Jason is that length of time that we have to wait to see them, and again, I hate to bring up Star Wars again, but this is what's happening with Star Wars. Part of the charm of Star Wars was waiting every 3 years for a new movie, And then after the trilogy's over, who knows how long you're going to have to wait. I think the same thing applies with Halloween. I really do. I think that distance of time between like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and the David Gordon Green trilogy, that was 9 years. And man, I tell you, when I sat down in that seat to watch Halloween 2018, I'm shaking in my boots. I'm so freaking excited. I can't deal. Right? That's not going to happen if I just finished watching 10 episodes of Myers on the TV. So that's where I'm at with this. I'm not against a TV series. Actually, I'm kind of for it. But because I am one of those guys, I love the world of Haddonfield. And I would love for them to tell some of those other stories. I've kind of been begging for it along the way, Pretty much for the last 30 years, I've always been like, ooh, wouldn't it be cool if they told that story, What's up, guys? You are at the end of the DD Live clip. What I do is I like to clip these out if I think the topic is important or something that's newsworthy. So thank you for watching. And if you want to watch more, you can go over here. You can go over here, click on one of those. And hopefully I can do this for 20 seconds, which I think I did. Okay, so yeah, thanks for watching, guys.